Let me start with a slide that will formally form the theme for my talk. I was sitting with my 7-year-old Safa, who loves watching Kung Fu Panda. I'm sure you do too. How many of you are Kung Fu Panda fans? Lots of people are Kung Fu Panda fans. So the name of Kung Fu Panda actually was Po. So I saw during that 1.5 hours of an animation movie, Po and how he relates so much to all of us. While we were doing that, while I was watching this, I thought about things that, and that's what I keep thinking about because the only thing I know well is technology. So I was wondering, how can I exceed all expectations and do things that would change the way things work in our country using the power of technology. Some of the problems that came to my mind, and I literally put them out on the slide, was problems as basic as we have in Pakistan one doctor to serve 1,200 people. We have 32,000 villages that have never seen an electricity grid. We have primary schools, 1/3 of which, total number of primary schools, one teacher to manage the entire school. So how could I or people like us use technology to fix these problems? If I can't, who will? Was the question. Who will take the plunge? These questions came to my mind when I was watching Po do the stuff he does. And I'll try and create the link here. Let me define Po to you. Here's this guy, a panda, who loves to eat, clearly is lazy, laid back, loves to be in his comfort zone, but there's one thing that's common about him and all of us. He had dreams. His dream was to be a dragon warrior. In simpler words, he wanted to be the best Kung Fu fighter ever. But he was fat and lazy, and he loved food. So, the key word was dream. When we talk about dream, I want to explain to you how I see the word dream. When you really, really want something, and you either have not achieved it, you've not had it as yet, but thoughts keep pondering on your mind again and again, reminding you that you really, really want it, and you start thinking about it in your subconscious, and when you're awake, that's a state of being in a dream. So, he had a dream which many people thought is not possible. He wasn't fit to be a Kung Fu fighter. So guess what he does? He defies all odds, he ties himself up with some firecrackers, and he shoots himself into this big arena where his life changes. There was a big competition going on where people wanted to see who the best Kung Fu fighter would be, and Po was in the game just because he defied all odds. Now, you see, as he does that, he also manages to become a fighting champion warrior. Now, this looks like a very nice story. But now I want to link this up with us. Imagine a girl who wants to be a jet fighter pilot. She dreams about it. But then society hits. And then society tells her, this isn't really for girls. How will you train with 50 other men? How will you leave home for so long? There are better things that a girl can do. Guess what she does? She puts that dream in a small box in some part of her life, calls it a secret wish, locks it with a big lock on it, and forgets about it. She has missed a big opportunity. She could have been the best fighter pilot. ILO's survey tells us that only 25% of Pakistan's women over the age of 15 years actually contribute to some extent to our economy. The rest of the 75% are a mere burden. Why? Because they don't dream. They stop dreaming. The realization of dreams happen only when you have a dream. So those 75% don't have dreams. Let's take another example of you and me. We love talking about how many things are wrong about our country. We sit in sitting rooms, nice cozy cafes, and talk about the corruption and the terrorism and the pollution. Do we ever ask ourselves, what are we doing about it? You know why we don't do that? Because it looks impossible. It's just not worth it. These two keywords will form the basis of my talk. Impossible and just not worth it. I'm going to move on from here. Learning from Poe. How can we become a version of Poe? How can we achieve what we aspire to? The first element that forms the basis for this is passion. Very easy word to put in English, but there's a lot that goes behind it. Passion for something only is worth being called passion when you start talking, drinking, thinking, speaking about it again and again and again. People would make fun of you. You know of a lot of people in our country who repeat things. It's because they have a passion for something. They see it better than us. They see it here and they see it here. That's passion. So the first question to ask ourselves is, what really is my passion? So I'll answer that question by what we did 4 years ago. Like-minded people got together. We knew we could rebrand our country if we can make entrepreneurs. Yes, sounds silly. I went to universities across the country. 2 to 3 people would sit there, listen to me and laugh at me. And he was selling what? He was selling entrepreneurship. He was selling startups. It was a joke. Job fairs would happen. People would be dying to give away CVs to banks and FMCGs and multinational companies. Stock would be completely, entirely empty. But there was passion that drove that effort, so we just kept at it. We knew if we keep at it, if we are to create an environment on the basis of which people would start realizing their dreams, things would happen for Pakistan. So on the basis of certain values, one of the core values being something you see at Plan 9 when you come here is this amazing image of hands, of lots of kids. Now you cannot differentiate the difference between these hands. These were 50-odd kids from different socio-economic backgrounds. Tell me, help me find a hand of a rich kid or a poor kid. This became the basis for Plan 9. The basic value. We're going to be fair to all. Whoever is good will get what they want to achieve. We will go the extra mile in helping them achieve it. This became this. Life went on, things started to happen, great people started contributing, we became a brand. This is how things happen. All on the next step to being Poe. By the way, I'm trying to make you Poe. The next step to passion is willingness. Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to learn, unlearn, relearn? Are you willing to change? Are you willing to become a survivor? Only then can dreams be realized. So here's what I have for you. These pictures of 9 entrepreneurs, they are survivors. They are an example of willingness. One of them formed Atari, the Spotify of Pakistan. 3 of them made Travely, the Uber for rickshaws. One of the ladies here formed the biggest portal for parlors and beauticians, and it became the biggest portal in the country. One of them runs the biggest online cinema bus ticketing service in Pakistan. All people who are examples of dream, passion, willingness. They made it happen. They are, in their own capacities, in our eyes, versions of a book. They've achieved what they want to achieve, and they have bigger dreams and they want to achieve much more. So when all of this happens, you can have these fancy slides to flaunt about stuff. And here comes the fancy part. We've worked on creating startups and freelancers. Now, we are considered as Pakistan the next innovation nation by many people around the world on the basis of what? Just one incubator has this impact. You get the impact. But let me give you something interesting. At one time, there was one startup incubator in the country. Now there are 30. One time, only 3 years ago, there was no venture financing. No one would put money in 3 young idiots calling themselves entrepreneurs. They would put money in cows and land, not people. Venture financing in the past 3 years has increased by 800%. This is faster than any country in our region right now in South Asia. More than India. This happened, why? Because of those few crazy ones. Those people who were willing to take that leap of faith. That's what Bo did. He took that leap of faith. Once you've achieved that level of passion and that willingness to fight and break down and fight again, the next big step, if you want to achieve great things, is focus. When you start focusing on something way too much, something that you want, it's said that if you're looking for a rabbit and you see 9 rabbits running around, focus on one, because you just need one. So if you focus it right, and if you have the focus on the right places, you will achieve what Bo calls inner peace. I don't quite understand what inner peace is, but what I do understand is this. When you focus, you go beyond an incubator, you become an accelerator. You go beyond just helping startups, you start helping freelancers. You go beyond helping older people, you go into schools and find risk kids. Teach them to be entrepreneurs. You go beyond schools and you start initiatives focusing entirely on empowering women. Remember the women? Remember that girl who forgot about being a jet pilot? She forgot about it. We want to bring them back. We want to open those boxes of secret wishes, convert them into dreams, and then make them realize those dreams. So once you focus, these things start to happen. Again, we learned this from Bo. The difficult bit begins now. We all like to achieve things for ourselves. It's easy to achieve things for ourselves. But you know what great people in this world have done? They've always thought, lived, breathed beyond their own self. They've always wanted to impact the world. They've always wanted to take the tough, more difficult, painful route. And they've achieved it. Why? Because they had focus. Because that focus was backed by passion. That passion is backed by dreams. So they do not give up. Bo was put into this hard training camp by Mr. Shifu. He wanted Poe to give up. He knew he can't do it. Poe was not willing to downscale his dreams. He wanted to be the best kung fu fighter ever. He wanted to win. So he went through everything. He went through that training. He got battered, he got insulted, he got broken, but he just did not give up. These people, they have done amazing things. In their own capacities, in their own space. You know what's common about them? What's common about them is their desire to impact the lives of others. Not saying one is a filmmaker, the other one is known for philanthropy, and well, Mandela gave you a model country. But what they had in common, they all dreamt, they all had passion, they all wanted to change things, and in their own capacities, they did. And that's what you need to become if you claim that you want a country that can succeed. Pakistan is undergoing several problems. We need heroes. We need all of us to become the best version of ourselves. I can't be an actor, but I can be an entrepreneur. Man, I'll be the best entrepreneur ever. I can't be a singer, but I can be a sportsman. There is not going to be a better sportsman than I. If we, as a nation, start to believe that we're special, because that's how it starts. That's what Mr. Pink told Poe. And that's what I tell myself, my team, my family, everybody. That's how I live my life. We all must do our bit with whatever we have. We have to exceed our own expectations. We have to believe we're special. A country that if it claims that it wants to be special, it needs to be a country of winners. It needs to be a country of Poe. You have to stop being called a Poe. You have to be termed as Manfogata. For that to happen, please understand that all of the effort that you make, all of the pains that you go through, trust me, they are worth it, and it's not impossible for you to change things. Keep trying. Thank you.